Hello and welcome to Coin Lady channel. Army the most significant turn in the XRP litigation. There's never a boring moment in this case, and Friday brought yet another twist when the Supreme Court ruled in favor of Ripple's fair notice defense in the SEC's poorly conceived enforcement action against the San Francisco-based blockchain business. Before I get into the specifics, I'd appreciate it if you could give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and enable notifications. You may help out by subscribing and activating the bell to receive updates. Ripple claimed in court filings that the recent U.S. Supreme Court decision in Bitboy versus United States supports their fair notice position. How a recent ruling by the Supreme Court has response by Ripple on Friday. Ripple submitted a supporting letter for their motion in the continuing case with the SEC to the U.S. District Court. Ripple pointed out that the SEC failed to offer fair notice before commencing its enforcement action because of the Supreme Court's ruling in the Bitboy case on Tuesday, which limits the government's power to impose penalties on American taxpayers who do not register international bank accounts. In the Bitboy case, the Supreme Court ruled that a fair notice should be issued to the world in terms that the common world will understand, outlining what the law intends to do if a certain border is crossed. During the SEC XRP lawsuit's discovery phase, Ripple's attorneys proved that the SEC failed to provide reasonable notice of XRP and other cryptocurrencies. The SEC immediately began a flurry of filings designed to halt Ripple after it revealed its intention to present a fair notice defense. But the court ultimately let Ripple elaborate on its fair notice. Its defense emphasizes that the SEC had no opportunity to warn Ripple that its conduct was illegal before it went to court. The company claimed that regulatory uncertainty was caused by the fact that America's top financial cop had not established a clear framework for the rapidly expanding crypto business with regards to the application of securities laws. To help her decide whether Ripple and its current and former CEO, Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larsen, broke the law by raising over $1.3 billion from the sale of XRP cryptocurrency as unregistered securities, presiding Judge Torres has been asked to take into account the Supreme Court's decision. Will Ripple win its legal case against the SEC? Initiator of the cryptocurrency law blog Crypto Law Market Observers, according to John Deaton, who is also amicus curiae in the XRP suit, believe that Ripple sent this letter now because they anticipate the SEC's victory. Dean emphasizes that the judgment by the U.S. Supreme Court occurred only 4 days ago. He says that the ruling proves Ripple's allegation that the lack of fair notice violates the due process provision of the United States Constitution. This new Supreme Court judgment strengthens Ripple's fair notice defense in the event that District Judge Torres rules that Ripple offered XRP as an unregistered security. Deaton reports that Ripple's lawyer has often stated his confidence that the current Supreme Court will rule in the company's favor, and that the West Virginia EPA action provides additional evidence that Ripple will prevail in the protracted legal struggle. The Supreme Court's recent decision adds the last flourish to the company's legal argument. A ruling on the complaint from Judge Torres is imminent, however the process might take as long as 2 months. Yet, if the court really issues a summary judgment, that's a different story. Deaton claims that the SEC's recent measures amount to a full-scale war against the cryptocurrency market, in which all cryptocurrency is subject to regulation regardless of whether or not it is a security, who distributed it, or the circumstances under which it was first offered. Not least as a result of Deaton's actions, Section V Ripple and XRP holders before. Approximately 3,000 XRP holders were granted permission to join Ripple's class action lawsuit against the SEC. More than 75,000 investors who had lost money as a result of the inquiry and subsequent legal action were brought together by the attorney. Already in its 3rd year, the SEC's action against Ripple is likely one of the primary conflicts between regulators and the global crypto industry. This issue may finally be resolved this year, according to firm CEO Brad Garlinghouse. The letter was written in response to a recent judgment that limits the ability of the United States government to punish taxpayers who fail to report foreign financial accounts. That's why Ripple has stressed the need of federal laws that spell out precisely what's forbidden. Ripple has requested that U.S. District Judge Torres take into account the above-mentioned court judgment in rendering her decision. According to Ripple, this decision proves the SEC's failure to provide proper, fair warning about the legality of XRP and the agency's negative impact on investors and the cryptocurrency industry as a whole. To review, the SEC has filed a lawsuit against Ripple, saying that the blockchain company and its former and current CEO raised $1.3 billion through the sale of XRP coins in an unregistered securities offering. The Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) is being criticized for the way it is handling cryptocurrency regulation, with new lawsuits being filed against other sector actors in the SEC's footsteps. John Deaton, attorney for XRP holders, has said the cryptocurrency community as a whole has to recognize that the regulator has declared war on the sector in the form of the Ripple case. Therefore, he suggested that businesses engaged in disputes with the SEC work together and share information. To succeed, we need to get creative and set up a system. For instance, businesses now engaged in or planning to engage in litigation with the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) should get together, discuss their options, and form a unified strategy. According to Deaton, a war has broken out. Former CEO Brad Garlinghouse had previously been quoted by Finvold Ripple as calling the situation unhealthy. The executive believes that the SEC's attack on the payments company is not just about XRP, but rather will be a watershed moment for the entire payments industry. Obtaining a decision in brief. Philan has speculated that the case could be settled by the end of March, and the crypto community is waiting with bated breath for the date of the summary judgment in the matter. Several legal experts, led by Deaton, however, have argued that the SEC and Ripple might settle out of court, thus preventing a further appeal. The SEC has many drawbacks, so it's interesting that Ripple's lawyer, Jeremy Hogan, has suggested that if Ripple wins the case, the SEC might not be able to appeal. In my opinion, the SEC won't bother appealing a defeat. The SEC has too much to lose in court, and an unfavorable ruling from an appellate court would threaten its no rules, only enforcement approach, he said. Meanwhile, the case has seen renewed conflict over whether or not to unseal the Hinman speech documents, which are expected to shed light on the SEC's initial thinking about how to classify the securities at issue. As the token at issue in the case, XRP is expected to feel an initial impact on its value regardless of the final outcome. Thanks for watching. Don't be a stranger, hit that like button, and sign up for updates. See you in the next one, bye.